go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me once again, for finding yourself in this moment so that we can consciously evolve together. Today's stream topic is an extension of something we've talked about a few times, where I have, I think, three core understandings of what love is, right? One, a fundamental, like consciousness, our stream topic. Two, something that is focus and attention, right? That if someone isn't willing to give you focus and attention in this moment, it's very hard to feel loved by them. Two, multiplicity and unity, the fact that there is me and then there is you, and then there is this one moment that we get to experience as these multiplicity beings, essentially. And then ultimately, love is the ability to endure everything and anything. And today's stream topic is about how I, in my mind at least, attach that love to consciousness. Because even though beings have arisen, right, we have been born and we have died, consciousness continues, right, from one generation to another, from one creature to another, from the trees to the people to, in my mind, even the planetary bodies. I believe consciousness is the thing that continues throughout all of it. And why, if not for love, essentially? It's nice having you friends here. Thank you for joining me. It is windy once again today, and I'm feeling some stuff. Uh, I won't bother you with it. I feel like in a weird way I have tried to grow from that perspective, to not want to even share. Oopsie doopsie, my tripod just fell apart. To not want to share the parts of the experience that can be a little bit uncomfortable. And instead, just to celebrate the fact that even as beings conscious of struggle, we can still continue. We can still continue onward, onwards and upwards and forwards into infinity and beyond. Let's see if I can get this thing. There we go. Yeah, good. Okay, melt big hugs. Love is true. Love is true either way. I'll give you, friends, some context, I guess. People fight with one another, all right? Essentially, that's like the cliff notes. Is people fight with one another, and yet, despite the fighting, consciousness endures, right? Like there you are, aware of the fighting happening, and we've been fighting as human beings for so long, over and over again for different reasons. And yet it remains. Thank you, Shan, for the updates. Let me say hi to you, friends. Dan, the man, joining us too. We have Loizana and Shan. We have Kristen joining us. We have Sam. We have Lisa. Blessings. Amara too. Even Zano. Loizana. Blessings to all of you. It's so nice having you friends here with me today. Whew, consciousness continues. Right? Consciousness continues. And why if not for love? There is Jovan too. Blessings to you. It's so nice having you. Oh my goodness, stupid keyboard. I've been having a hard time with technology as well as of late, Dan. My internet has been exciting. Yeah. Is my internet gonna work? Or isn't it? Let's find out. So excited. I'm about to fight the final boss in Diablo. Lamau. Anybody play it? I thought about it. I did. I was like, maybe I should play Diablo. And then my brain was like, you don't play games anymore. Oh, and I'm like, oh yeah. Why don't I play games anymore? Because you don't allow yourself to enjoy them. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. I remember my husband plays it. I did, but it got boring fast. Yeah, I heard that they, messed up like the balancing system as well, making the game less fun to play. Oh, I want to, but right now I'm obsessed with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is still popular. I mean, I remember the debacle that was No Man's Sky when it initially came out, but apparently the game just kept getting better, over the last while as well. Explorer, maybe that's one I could be interested in as well. Nope, I'm more of a WoW slash Minecraft gal. There we go. I'm not a gamer, Dan, but I hope you beat them. Love is true. I mean, you were correct with them, right? Because even though it might be a singular boss, they probably still summon minions. Melty, Lozana, blessings. Lois Games? Lady, we're gonna have to talk. If not, why not? It would be pretty cool having like a gaming channel with you too, as well. Yeah, the end game seems long, just looking to get my character good enough to run some dungeons with friends. Apparently the game only starts after level 50. I've seen like reviews, I like to live vicariously through other people. Weirdly enough, I feel like it's a skill, right? Being able to see someone else enjoy something and find enjoyment in that instead of needing to enjoy it yourself. I feel it's like one of the things about human beings that really fascinate me. Consciousness, enduring, right? I keep forgetting that I can join yoga now. Yes, you can. I'll try to ASAP. You'll be loved. I gave you a like, Mel. Thank you, Mara. Every like counts. Let's see how many likes I have today. 2. One of them is you, Amara. So 50. 50% of all of the likes I have right now. Damn it. No, it's 33%. 33% of all of the likes I have was you, Amara. No, it's 35%. Damn it, friends, you're ruining my job. Love is true. Thank you, Amara. Either way. My husband plays it. I think I read that comment. Oh, no. I'm happy to hear that, Dan. It's just repetitive in that special Blizzard way that I'm so fucking wary of. Yeah. I'm just wary of Blizzard in general at this point. Namaste to you as well. Lisa, blessings again, dear friend. Zano here. Oh, Melt, big hugs. Love is true. The 3 lurkers, blessings to you. Thank you again, Jovan, for sending lovin's to our friends. It really seems to me that families who fight, even often, are more healthy than families who ignore one another instead. It's very interesting you say that, Sam, because that was actually one of the things that I communicated about yesterday, where, thank you, Amara, the scup is called Ermius Plur. Scup has come along a long way. Love, 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 love. Has been blessed over and over again. Ermius means God uplifts, and Plur is an acronym for peace, love, unity, and respect. So every sip of water I take, I'm imagining myself or imagining God uplifting peace, love, unity, and respect. Putting those water molecules in my body. Ignore each other instead. Yeah, Sam. So with the stuff that was being said last night, I reached a point where I was like, I would rather just be ignored, right? Like I don't know how much I want to say. Essentially, I'm wrong, right? That's the cliff notes as well. I'm wrong, and I'm not following the rules because I refuse to believe certain things, and I have to be punished, or there has to be consequences apparently, and these consequences are ill-defined, right? Like they're like, yeah, these are the rules. There has to be consequences. I'm like, okay, maybe the course of action is just not going there, right? How about we don't? How about we don't go there? And it's hard. I'm speaking so vaguely. It's supposed to be that way. I keep forgetting again. Love to you, Connor. It would be nice to have you there at the bear. We do it every day. I just hit level 50, Mel. There you go, dude. Maybe the game will get fun. I see Lane in chat. Brother Bear, blessings to you. Lane, how are you doing, my dude? Love is true. Thank you for sending lovin's to our friend as well. Nancy joining us too. Blessings to you, friend. Let me continue reading. Like your cup. Cartoons, my man. I've been existing for sure. How have you been? You make me smile too. Bless. Louisiana, I heard today we should spend 75% of our time with positive people in our life, 25 with negative people. For me, that's backwards now. How about that? How about you, Guy? Thank everyone here for being part of that positive. Blessings, Lisa. Yeah, I feel it's hard to get that ratio right. 75% positive, 25% negative. I feel like the biggest thing for me is just the misunderstanding about what a debate is, right? A disagreement between two people is. For some reason, we have been conditioned to see any debate as an actual fight, right? And I feel like maybe that's the thing that I'm a little bit stuck on, is because I will stand for something, right? I'll have an opposing view on something. And then instead of seeing that as, oh, Melt has an opposing view, that is his view, and I'm going to share mine. And from this collective sharing of our opposing views, both of us gets to gain perspective. That's how I see conversation, and especially tense ones, right? Where my family sees any conversation that is not aligned with what they believe as an attack on their person, right? That I am fighting them. And I'm like, that's not what I'm doing, right? I'm not trying to fight. For instance, like the more I lean into this thing, the more of it, gets revealed. I don't want to share this stuff with you, friends. At least some of it, right? Some stuff happened, and then some more stuff happened, and the more stuff that happened, for some reason, disturbs me more than the stuff that happened, right? Because one of the more stuff that happened is my dad literally telling me, "Oh yeah, I want to show you this atheist's anecdote," right? And he starts this YouTube video, and it's a 33-minute YouTube video, and I'm like, "Oh, great! I'm gonna spend 33 minutes basically watching this dude walk through a subway, talking about him being a very immoral person, how he bashed his own head. I bashed his own dad's head in with a hammer, how he got arrested, went to jail, starved himself, to try and one up a Christian that was in jail, and then how, God was the only one who could save him, yada, yada, yada." And I was like, "Dad, the only thing you just showed me is that an immoral person came to what I believe is an immoral conclusion, that people that don't believe your belief system burn in hell forever." And then, of course, as it does, it spiraled and it spiraled. And I had to stand up for what I believe in. And it creates this weird loop. I feel like that's the weird thing. It's this cyclical, and there's no getting out of it because none of us know. And fortunately, my mom was actually being the wise one in that conversation, because then, of course, my dad had to call the whole family into the conversation, as he does, and it's me against the world, at least in that moment, choosing to continue enduring his consciousness, even though I would rather not. And my mom is like, "Yeah, nobody knows." Have we been willing to kind of like admit that nobody knows anything, right? There's no proof of any religion being the right one, right? There's no proof that believing one thing or another sends you to hell or heaven. When people die, that's it for them, right? Usually they don't come back and tell us about their experiences. Some people have, right? And weirdly enough, like for some reason my dad doesn't take that into consideration, and I've asked him about this as well. I'm like, "Dad, you do realize there are people alive today who have gone through near-death experiences, and pretty much unanimously all of them come back with this sense of clarity, that there's nothing to fear in dying, right? That this system of oppression, right? Like there's one line that my dad, my sister as well, really likes repeating, and it's about how we live in a broken world. You know, live in a broken world, and I'm like, no, no, we don't, right? And I wrote about it in my journal today as well, where I was like, even if we live in a broken world, right? Even if that is true, I am going to spend the rest of my life working to fix it, right? I am not going to kind of be like, "Oh yeah, it's broken. oh, I'm just gonna lay down now, be nice and comfortable in all of this, broken bits. No, I know I can't. Right? And you were actually in my mind during that, Loazana, where I was like really, really clear about the fact that it's not that I don't want to believe, right? It's not a choice that I'm actively making about like, yeah, I I specifically am gonna choose to not believe in what you believe. It's like a can't, right? It's impossible. I've paid attention. I've seen what believing a certain set of beliefs lead to as a state of being, and I have been unable to believe that state of being, right? Not because I want to, just because I can't. It's not possible for me, right? And it was again, it's just this circular over and over again. Like we've had this conversation so many times, right? And I feel bad for you, friends, that you have to be referees, secondhand argumenting, with me. But you friends, more than you know, I feel like seriously, I have like this depth of support just in knowing that you friends are out there in the world. So to close the fractal off, thank you. Thank you for being with me, even when we're scattered all over around the world, for supporting me nonetheless. Love is true. I've been alive, just got moved back to the Mount P for my final year. Good to see you again. Though my man's love is true. Thank you, Connor, for echoing love, bro. Lisa, I think I have worked hard to get the percentage up. Maybe I'm finally close to that. Bless. I'm happy to hear that, Kristen. Final year at good old CMU. Huh? That's exciting. I'm working on the floor at B's Music, so I'm still around Mount B, even though I won't be at the school. How are you feeling, Lane? Tell us about what you've been busy with, bro. I feel like we missed you, or like I'm missing you. I feel like I don't know what's going on in your side of the world anymore. Management, it feels like my percentage is higher for the time spent with positive people. Agreed. Hey, again, Jaziel. Hello, friends. It's my first week here in this community, and I'm grateful. I'm a semi couch potato, and I'm loving yoga. Can you believe it? Les, I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying it. Like the practice we do in the mornings is not that taxing, right? It's not easy. At least I don't think it's necessarily easy. It's not hard, from in comparison to some of the other yoga that I do. It's like a mid-ground mobility kind of thing, make sure your body can continue to move into the future. And I'm proud of you, Jiziel. Thank you for joining us on that. Jiziel, glad you're here. Enjoy your lovins, bless. Well, I'll spend most of my time with friends in Amara, so mostly positive, bless. This is my family as well, Meld. They're exhausting. It's rough, Lisa. It really is rough because and I was saying this to my mom as well, like it's being gaslit, right? Like over and over again, my dad telling me that what I believe doesn't make sense. I'm like, bro, what I believe is love is true. What doesn't make sense about that, right? Like, point out exactly what doesn't make sense. And I had this conversation with him as well. I'm like, do you think you could have a relationship with your God, with your Jesus, without love? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying. And he's like, no, but Jesus loved me. That's why I can have a relationship with him. I'm like, okay, so you realize that there has to be love before there's a relationship. In other words, love is the truth in that scenario, not the deity, not you believing in said deity, but the fact that there is love experienced in that fractal. And then he came back to me, later that night, and I mentioned to him how I went through different states of being as a young person as well, where when I was in my teenage years, depressed, you know, suicidal ideationing, not only suicidal ideationing, but going through this narrative of I should kill myself, and then I imagine my funeral, and I imagine people being sad, and then getting this like yeah feeling, like yeah, that'll show them, they'll feel so bad that they didn't love me more, while I was alive. Now they get to suffer because I'm dead, and then fantasizing. And with that fantasy came a complete disregard for humanity, a disregard for my own body, a disregard for my family. I could not care about anything because I wanted to not be alive, right? And that it ruined, at least in my mind, the entire experience for me, right? Because I did not love myself. Yesterday's stream topic. I could not love myself because I was participating in this narrative of wanting to die and what that's going to mean, and how people are not going to care after a few weeks. Bye for now. Love you, Amara. I know this is rough. This is some rough stuff. I know. I'm sorry, right? And then I told him that then I went through an experience of trying to get closer to what I would consider an awakening. And that awakening came with a bunch of different practices, came with exercise, it came with taking my diet a little more seriously. It came with eating mushrooms, which I don't necessarily recommend for everybody. But it showed me for the first time in my life, I'll be back. We'll see you again soon. We have Gavrigil, Skibidi Baptis as well. I showed myself that there is another side of this fractal, right? That yes, the devil, right, as we would think of it, the devil that tries to steal from you in the night, the devil that ruins your relationship, the devil that makes you want to die, that part, that state of existence, I am capable of. And then at the same time, this thing we would consider God, right? Love, compassion, care, kindness for one another. I am also capable of, right? And all of us have both of those infinities, both of those sides of the same infinity inside every single one of us. That every single one of us is that crossing point, and that you actively make that decision to choose which direction you want to go. And I could see like there's like a happening inside of him, and I'm like, yeah, Dad, I really am trying harder than you know. I feel like we understand one another, but he wants me to believe what he believes, right? Like I feel like that's the last part that he's stuck at, because he sees what I believe isn't necessarily destructive. He did say some whack shit about my cards. I also saged the house like a few weeks ago, and then he was like, yeah, inviting demons into my home by burning smoke. I'm like, no, actually, the smoke particulates disperse into the air, symbolically taking up room, symbolically chasing the demons away, right? Taking the space away for them to encroach, right? And like just creating this narrative that because I practice differently, because I've paid attention to all of the religions, right? And the parts of the religions that work, I adopt, right? Because I believe every single one of them are trying to get to the same truth, right? That when we talk about this concept of God, it's like a mirror, right? That we're trying to describe. When you look in the mirror, for example, you aren't seeing the full spectrum. You're seeing an expression, right? You're seeing like the the front of your face, or if you turn your face, you're seeing the side of your face. You're not seeing the internal organs. You're not seeing the back of your head. You're not seeing the rest of the world, right? That is also contained within the reflection. And in using the word like God, we are putting a mirror up to a concept and then looking in that mirror and thinking what we're seeing is the full spectrum of what that is. And I keep trying to, painstakingly, right, from a conscious perspective, trying to share that with him. And it's hard. It really is hard. And you friends have probably experienced it in one way or another as well. Consciousness endures. Love shows you how much you can endure, right? Because as consciousness, all of us can admit, yeah, I'm conscious, right? I'm aware that I'm in this moment right now. Why? If not for love, right? Why, if there wasn't something to love? Even if it's something as simple as food, even if it's something as simple as being able to go to sleep tonight, even if it's something as simple as a friend you get to connect with, something as simple as your pets that you get to love next to you. Whatever it is you find that is lovable in this world helps you continue as consciousness day by day by day. And that's the only thing that I try to stress and believe, right? From a perspective of love is true, it tells me that there is no fractal of judgment, fractal of, punishment for eternity in the way that my family believes. There is no the world is damned, right? And you need saving. You can't save yourself, so you need this external entity. That doesn't resonate in my mind with the understanding of love is true. Okay. Put the fractal down. As consciousness, let's continue. Giselle, glad you're here. Bless, bless. You wanted to go in there. Do they have vinyls or just instruments? Hopefully both. Giselle, I'm a lazy ass person who has been trying for years to build a daily practice and only succeeded after finding this group in particular. Bless, Sam. I'm so happy to hear that. Right? Consistency is a hard one to master. And I believe we wouldn't be able to if we didn't do it from a place of love, right? Again, the fact that we can, it's going to be our creed going forward forever, right? Oh, how do they do that? They're doing it for love. It's like, but that doesn't make sense, right? Love is a feeling. No, it's not. Love is not a feeling. Love can be felt, right? But love isn't a feeling. At least not in my mind. Love is a state of being. It is the way you are. Love is the way you are. Boom. New attachment to what love means to me, at least. I'm going to keep that one. Love is the way you are. I'm trying to wire a bunch of neurons together to remember it. It's even worse, Mel. They view it as an attack on God, and they believe God is more important than them. Oh yeah, you're actually completely right, Dan. That's an even better way to put it. Because I do, right? I'm like kind of aggressive. I spar. I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna hit me up, God. I'll fight that God because I honestly believe that the Christian God is smaller because of its ability. Because again, right? Like is it the Tao? I think it might be the Tao that like talks about God in negatives. That like talks about like God isn't this, God isn't that, God isn't so, God isn't us. To basically try and like communicate to your mind that there is no words to encapsulate what that actually is, because it's everything, right? It's actually everything. It's the actual infinity, right? Both the bad and the good. All of it as consciousness continuing for love. And it's impossible, right? If you try to, it's going to be a reduction of the truth, always. The exact same fractal happened to me yesterday too, Melt. What are the odds? Maybe I am supposed to talk about it after all. I was like really planning on not, I wanted to. I imagined like literally laying in bed last night. I was like, I'm so gonna not say anything about this. I don't want to talk about it. Here I am talking about it anyway. Damn it. Blessings, Mal. Blessings to you again, Mara. We do sell vinyl. Yeah, our selection isn't that large, but I've seen some cool records come through. Do you have a vinyl player? I've never in my life heard music from a vinyl player. I do kind of want to. Extremism in religion is a cancer. It closes people off to development and leads them to this exact issue right freaking here. Weirdly enough, Sam, I did talk to my dad about you as well. I mentioned to him that we have Christian friends in this stream, right? And by no means am I ever attacking you friends when I talk about these topics. I'm talking about consciously evolving past the narrative that you are somehow evil, that you are somehow broken, that this world is somehow broken, because all of those narratives is defeatist in my mindset. And I do not allow defeatist mindsets, not even for myself, right? Like, never mind even someone else's defeatist mindset that they're trying to project into me. I don't allow it to do it to myself, right? If I notice myself being like, I'm like, no, stop. Stop doing that. Stop it. And then other people want to do it to me. And then I get visceral. I'm like, Sorry, I'm just losing my mind. I can't believe it because I went through the couch potato slash faithful morning yoga person literally overnight. That's how fast it happens, right? Like the life changing decision that you can make gets to be made in this moment. That there is no other moment to make the life changing decision that you want to make, right? And that your consciousness will continue even if you don't make the life changing decisions. It will show up for love anyway, even if it doesn't love what you might be putting it through. It will continue. Sam, you're right. Very sad situation. That's huge. I definitely have to stop by soon. Then please do, bro. Just want to hit up Lane, dude. It would be cool for you friends to meet up with one another. Hearing that just motivated me even more. I have joined a lot of self accountability groups on Discord, but nothing comes close to this. You friends flatter me, right? I'm not. I wanna really stress this. I'm not the reason that this is working. Right? The reason this is working is because of love. Right? We show up for love. Sure, I show up as well. But there is no just me showing up for love and that making a difference. Maybe some difference. Maybe like small difference. Right? But the fact that we get to do it together and that there is this collective effort towards becoming the best versions of ourselves, that is how we change the world. And you friends feel that. You already know it. You understand it intrinsically. In the parable of the sower and the seed, there are so many places where that seed doesn't take root. Melts the person who comes along after the sower, sees the areas, and fixes them. So where did you have to say exactly that, Sam? Because I've been thinking a lot about soil as of late, right? I've been thinking about those small little wormy looking things running through the soil, eating the biomass and making the soil healthier with all of their poops. Like that's been like actively in my mind recently, Sam. It saddens me that his dad can't see how very vital to the church his son is. I wanna again, I was sorry to say this, but I wanted to clarify my intentions first. My dad wants to talk to you, Sam, because I was like, Dad, there are friends that identify as Christians in this space, right? And we accept them with just as open of a heart, right? We love them just as much. We're not anti Christianity, we're anti defeatism, right? We're anti, oh, oh, somebody save me. No, no, we save ourselves, right? By showing up for love. Not by, like lifting ourselves above, being like, oh, I'm so great, I'm gonna save myself. No, by helping one another, by being there for one another, by supporting this experience of showing up for our bodies, for our minds, for our art, for whatever passion we have in this world, whatever it may be, realizing that that is the only way to make a difference so that we can see a better world for all of us. Joe Schmo joining us too. Big love to you, saying the latest casualties of the ever-long struggle from power and influence. Maui has been the latest in a long line of imminent domain by the power at B. I love you all. We love you, Joe Schmo. Yeah. I feel like the hardest thing for me is the fact that there's a lot more wackiness coming. Love is true. Consciousness will endure, right? That's kind of the point as well. That's why I am partially in support of space travel. I'm back already. Gang, gang. It's nice seeing you again, Amara. Yeah, space travel. Extending our consciousness. We have a window now, a window in time where we get to actually extend consciousness beyond just our planetary boundaries. Consciousness wants to continue that bad, right? Like, think about that. Realize that that is a good thing, If consciousness wants to continue that bad, and that's a primary function of our existence, to love this experience so much that we want to continue, surely it's just a matter of time until we realize we need to help other people continue, right? Be healthy, have enough food, have a place to sleep. Mel, for different reasons, I believe that we're in a similar situation with our dads From what you've shared, I believe both our dads are not interested in being reached and they don't want to hear us. They need to be heard and understood. The need to be heard and understood has been something I've always struggled with. You all saw it with how I reacted to Joy the last week. It's hard, dude. And that's the thing as well. I feel like that's the thing that parents don't seem to understand as well, right? Because I did say that to them. I was like, don't you realize how this feels, with like the whole family looking at me talking about consequences. Gonna get consequenced. And I'm like, bruh, you do realize you're all pointing fingers at me. All of you are like being like, yeah, bad, fucked up, Mr. My sister actually compared me to the devil last night. Like straight up compared me to the devil. Where I was like talking about the fractal love, I don't believe I am broken and in need of saving. And then my sister goes, yeah, who also believed that? No, you know who believed that first? Satan. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. The rebel in me says like, yeah. I can't. I can't take it seriously because it's again, this like pointing fingers, like be unaware and unwilling to admit that those things, right? This thing we consider Satan, this thing we consider God, is present within each and every single one of us, right? All of the stories we tell are stories about ourselves, right? all of them, because that's how we understand things. And now we've told this story so convincingly that so many people believe it to the point of literally ruining their relationships around them, for the sake of this story. Today, I sit in contemplation and reflection. I try to bring sunshine to my personal view, instead seeing the obvious injustices beset upon harmonious communities. Fortunately, I still feel very harmonious with you friends right now. Even though we are talking about the tumultuous side of this humaning experience, I don't feel dissonant. I don't feel attacked. I don't feel angry. I don't feel like I'm complaining. I'm just sharing my perspective, right? And I feel like that's what's beautiful about this community as well, is that it's not us trying to fight, right? It's us trying to explore. It's a curiosity instead of a conquest. And I feel like that is the difference, what this community has made in my life at least. You friends seriously give me more hope than you can imagine. You work there most days. Definitely need a recommendation for the homie. Please, bro, go. The need to be heard. I think I've read that one. Love, love. I've gotten a lot of peace for myself recently by just not taking the bait anymore and not trying to reach him. Yeah, it is fucking hard, Dad. I love my dad. All right. I really love him. Sometimes wish I didn't. Right. It'd be easier. It would be easier if love wasn't true. Right. Because then I would not have to worry about 90% of the things I worry about. But alas, love is true. So I can't just be like, no, I'm going to keep my eyes closed, not see anything. Because everything I see, I get to see because love is true, including the things that piss me off. Hey, Peppy, you want to sit on my lap? Hmm? Did you get your face? What happened to your face, Peppy? What happened to your face? Did you get stung? Did you get stung, baby girl? Oh, your face is so swollen. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is helping. Are you okay, baby? I'm sorry. I completely lost my train of thought. Maybe it's for the best. Oh, shame. She does look like she got stung in her face by something. Do you see that? Look at this. She's like, no, don't pick me up, you silly. You want to come here? You want to come here? I want to show our friends your facey. I want to show them your face. I'm not gonna hurt you. I want to show them your face. Let me pick you up. Let me pick you up. Come here. Let me catch you. I'm gonna catch you. Get here. No, she doesn't want me to show you. Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed? You still look beautiful, puppy. You're still a beautiful puppy, poof turkeys. Even if your face is all messed up by bee stings, you're still pretty. You're still a pretty dogger. Yeah, I still loves you. Yeah, I still loves you. There you go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't imagine that must be nice. She doesn't want to get picked up. Oh, can you see? I think you can see. Yeah, shame. Come here. I want to show them. I want to show them up close. Please, please, can I show them? The friends want to see you. They care. They care, Pepe. They're gonna send you blessings. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me give you lovin's. Come here. She's like, "Nah. Masha, masha, masha. Masha, 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 masha." Oh, there you go. There you go. See, it's not so bad. See, let's show our friends your face. Look at that. Oh, your face so swollen. Oh, sweetie, sweetie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't imagine that's nice. Okay. Okay. Let's continue reading some comments. To be heard, reaching them, loving them. Yeah. Either way, continue. Right? I feel like that's maybe the best advice I can give. Is that despite all of these things, don't let it stop you. Right? That's the biggest thing. Is just don't let it stop you. Because you will find pushback. Oh yeah. Right. Some people will try to convince you that love is in fact not true. Right. And my family tried. They did. They were like, oh yeah, if love is true, why are there babies with cancer? I'm like, because DNA and evolution and these things change, right? And then it spiraled into this conversation of like, okay, so why does God give babies cancer, right? And they're like, oh, God gives babies cancer because we live in a broken world. I'm like, nope. Human beings right now are working to ensure that we can cure babies who have cancer, right? That's what human beings are doing. People, actual people, living, breathing, conscious human beings. That's what they're trying to do for our world right now. And I would rather uplift, celebrate that part of our humanity, right? That divinity, than kind of subject myself to believing, that we're living in a broken world. Happy Giselle. Bless. Thank you, Shan, for sending her lovin's. I've gotten a lot of people. I'm trying to reach them. I think I read one as well. I don't know what the right approach is for you, but ask yourself if these kinds of convos are helping you. And if you believe that people are engaging with you, you're doing so in good faith. I am trying to, Dan. I really am. I feel like I am approaching this conversation from a place of good faith. But more so than anything, I'm seeing it as practice, right? And I don't know if that is bad faith. Maybe, I wouldn't be opposed to admitting fault in myself as well. But I imagine going into the future, there will be other people who disagree with me as well, right? And I would rather be someone who is active in participating in conversations that might be uncomfortable, conversation that might not make me feel great, right? And choosing to persist as a conscious, loving entity, not for the sake of trying to get something, but for the sake of having the conversation because it's important to, right? Like if we don't have these conversations and we just kind of echo chamber ourselves, the spiral, the tribal nature of our, biology is only going to continue. It's going to push us further away from unity. It's not going to get us closer to it, right? That's kind of how I'm seeing it every day. Is that these conversations, having them or not having them is one, a lack of unity because there's no coming together and having the conversation, and two, a lack of unity because there's no hearing the other person, letting them speak words into your brain, processing, and then giving them your retort in return, right? Like there's a unity even if there is a fighting happening in that capacity, where not having the conversation, there's none whatsoever, right? None from both sides. There's no connection whatsoever. And I feel surely there's a connection at the large scale, but still not enough. Not enough for us to reach unity. Loy! Blessings, bro. Sending you goodest of vibes. We had friends Vietnamese in chat towards you yesterday. I don't know if they were incorrect to try. Let us know, if you speak a different language, so we can say hi to you in that language as well. I do believe eventually there's going to be like YouTube algorithms that live translate. You can like literally click on the little gear and then have it just let me speak French live. I do believe that's coming. I don't know how far away it is though. 3 years? At most 3 years. I'm imagining like no more than 3 years. Then you friends could listen to me in whatever language you want to. And it will sound like me. It'll probably sound like me as well. That's the best part. Thanks for stopping by, Gavity Goo. We've missed you, bro. Sending you lovin's, man. It's nice having you here in a second. I don't think he's here anymore, but sending Gab lovin's in hindsight. Thanks for stopping by. Love, love. I have very similar religious beliefs. I adapt from different ones too, Mel. Because all of them have wisdom, right? All of them. All of our religions that we've been practicing as humanity have some sort of wisdom, right? Otherwise, people wouldn't be drawn to them. Otherwise, there wouldn't be millions of people that believe different things, right? All of these things have some sort of underlying truth to it, right? And that underlying truth can be felt. But then the stuff we build on top of that underlying truth is when the manipulation starts coming in, and that's where we start losing clarity about what we're actually supposed to be doing. Then it comes into the whole fractal of control, using it as a means to control. Awakened and angry at my observation, trying to shift it though. It takes time, Joe Schmo. Again, today's whole stream topic, even despite these awakening moments towards anger, right? We can have that and then realize, despite it, we can, as consciousness, continue. And then leaning into that part of ourselves over and over again. Goofy series, bitch until again. I recommend Star Trek. I haven't watched too much of the Star Trek. I've wanted to, weirdly enough, Sam. My sister, who was very far down the path of anger and hurt, is going to have a child in December. My dad was so triggered by my request to try and reunite our family now, before the birth. Triggered by the request. How dare you, Dad? Want to connect with me? You person, you bad persons. Of course, I don't know the full context, but I'm sorry that you have to go through that with the bear. I hope your relationship with your sister is good at least, and I look forward to you being a good uncle to the little one, at the very least, right? How to diagnose people, but I think your dad is a narcissist and brainwash into the whole right-wing Christian, young earth, Bible liberalist fractal. Yeah, unfortunately. And it makes him insane that his firstborn male child isn't a carbon copy of himself after all. Especially since I look like him, right? Like I look like my dad. Like he looks at me and he sees himself as a younger version of himself. And he has literally directly admitted to me that he considers me more intelligent than he is, right? I don't think that was wise, because now I have that ammunition where I'm like, my dad fully admits to me that he thinks I'm more intelligent than he is, right? So it's like that double whammy of him looking at a version of himself that he considers more intelligent than he is, that cannot believe what he believes, right? And it's like, and I get it. I do, but I want him to get it, right? Like, that's the thing. I'm like, Dad. And I've said this to him. I'm like, bruh, when I look down, I see hands. When you look down, you see hands, right? Sure, I might be seeing a different pair of hands, but they serve the same function. With these hands, I can choose to strangle a person or I can choose to feed a person, right? And we have that same power. Both of us, all of us, have that same power actively in every single one of us. And what we choose to do moment by moment is the thing that ends up creating our lives, not our belief about this life, right? And I feel like that's where the dissonance comes in, because he doesn't believe that, right? Like, he literally said this to me yesterday, where I talked to him about this stream, and I'm like, Dad, how do you think it's possible for me to continue doing this the way that I am if I didn't actually believe what I believe in, if I didn't actually believe that love is true? And he was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if you're doing it for love, because if it's not through Jesus, it doesn't count, or something like that. I'm like, oh, so all of the love I've tried to share with people doesn't count because I'm not deifying some other entity above myself. Cool. Makes sense. Of course, I don't believe that. I mean, I feel loved in this moment, and there has to be no separation. I think every man in my life is a narcissist. I often think that sounds similar to Mel's dad. I worry that I might be a narcissist even, Lisa. I feel like that's something that I struggle with a lot. Hey, Google, define narcissist, right? I believe it's something like someone who is overly obsessed with their own whatever. A person who is excessively interested or in admiration of themselves, right? I feel again, it's a balance kind of thing because I do have, I don't know if excessive is the right word, but I do have an interest in myself, right? Like the whole fractal of know thyself, to know who you are, to know what you stand for, and to do that, because if you don't, you feel unaligned with yourself, right? Like that's kind of the way that I see it. And then in the admiration, I feel like that's one of the things that my dad also doesn't understand about me. I have a hard time loving myself most days, from this perspective of knowing what I actually am, right? From this perspective of having paid enough interest to my inner self to see the version of me that I know I am capable of being, the version of me that I want to be, and then seeing how I fall short, right? Noticing that I still do fall short. But instead of seeing that falling short as who I am, I see it as who I am overcoming, right? The version of me that is melting away so that the new version of me can take its place. And knowing that that is cyclical, right? It's not going to stop ever. It's going to continue. And realizing that we can either make it more difficult for each other or help. It's hard. It's hard being a person in general. Conscious evolution is not easy, right? Love isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but love will show you how much you can endure, right? All of the discomfort and then some, and you'll still be conscious on the other side of it. That, in an angry fit, he wished death on his own grandchild in the womb. What? This man thinks he doesn't need to go to therapy. Who says such a thing? Horrifying. I can't even imagine, dude. Like I'm experiencing fractals from last night as well. Similar, same, but different, but still the same kind of vibes. With my sister, weirdly enough, not even with my dad. Sam, thank you for the suggestion. I'll probably dive face first into some mindless video game and catch a cool down. I value sitting in the present, but I also value the balance. And sometimes we just need to do mindless, silly stuff to catch a break. Yeah, I do agree with that actually. Give yourself some time, right? Realize that no matter what you do, your consciousness will continue. Even though that's said, Brother Joe, I tried to do that, right? After the whole conversation, I rolled myself a joint. I wrote Rustach on the inside of it. Rustach means calm, calm. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna calm, and I calmed. I distracted myself. I was being silly and mindless. And then as soon as I laid down to try and go to sleep, my brain was like, okay, now we're gonna think about all of that shit some more. And I'm like, bro, please, oh, please, I don't want to think about any of this stuff right now. So yeah, maybe if you're going to distract yourself, do so knowing that it's not going to make the work any easier, but it is gonna give you a break, right? It's like gonna be like a breath. You can like take a breather, and then you're gonna have to eventually come back to the work again, getting past it slowly but surely. I believe in you, Brother Bear. Silly people like that associate their knowledge of the Bible with their relationship with Jesus, with their spiritual score, and pings against that knowledge makes them feel like the relationship itself is being brought to question, and that makes them so damn defensive. That's very accurate, Sam. That's like scarily accurate. Uh, like I see that as ego, right? Because as you're mentioning, right, that relationship is a reflection on you, right? So yes, the relationship, but also how it reflects on you if this relationship falls into question, and then it's like an ego thing. Where my dad, and I've asked him this directly, like what would you consider a successful life if you have to, die right now? And his words to me is, I would consider myself successful if all of my children believe in the gospel. And I'm like, oh, oh, that's very telling. That's very concerning, right? That's extremely concerning. Like instead of paying attention to the problems in the world and trying to make a difference makes such a big a difference that you get to be successful as someone who helped other people. Your primary concern is whether or not your children follow the same dogma as you. Right? And I'm like, bro, I can't. I'm so sorry. I just cannot. It's not possible. Damn, yikes. To answer your question of who says such a thing, again, narcissists. And they never need therapy. Of course not. If they need therapy, that means that there's something wrong with them. And that can't be possible. No, surely. Surely there's nothing wrong with them. It's everybody else. I confronted him for saying it, and he cut me off. Frankly, I'm relieved. Don't play their games anymore. Set your own terms for what you will accept and tolerate from them. Love them regardless, realizing that you can love them from a distance and that they cannot be separate. They're still here with you in this moment. I've been thinking about this a lot. I haven't had an opportunity to use it yet, but if someone is needlessly, right, saying things that are hurtful, wish them healing, wish them growth. Don't wish them damnation. Wish them growth. Hope for them to get better. And I feel like that is the best way to kind of like relieve yourself of the tension as well. I'll be all right though. I'm an old hand at the rally. I know you will, Brother Bear. Moment by moment, continue in consciousness. Thanks for the validation, y'all. We love you, Dan. The shit is deep cut, but I haven't planned on getting into. I'm like the Frank Reynolds meme. You unzip me. I don't think I know the one. Hey Google. Hey Google. Show me the Frank Reynolds meme. Oh. Okay. Of course, the very first meme we see is when the weed isn't numbing the memories and the therapist keeps pushing. You unzip me. Do you understand? I don't like thinking about it. Frank Reynolds. I don't like thinking about it. Stop it. Stop. I don't want to think about all this stuff. Exactly, dude. But that is conscious evolution, right? It's not comfortable. We don't want to do it, right? It's the hardest thing you'll ever be expected to do in this life, but it is important. I glow like uranium. I'm just hearing the Richter scale. Always been. Love is true. I think I missed a bunch of comments somehow. Skipped up or something. Goodness, how many did I miss? Oh, I'm still scrolling up. There we go. Vinyl cassette, CDs, all the vibes. I was a doofus at first and was worried about my beliefs being a problem here. But goddamn, this group is just a total love fest of different ideas and beliefs. Of course not, Kristen. I think that is the point, right? That we get to accept each other as people. What you believe is not that important, right? As long as you show up with love. That is all we expect, right? Show up with love. Especially, realizing that from that perspective of love, be willing to let go of what you think is right, what you believe is right, and then trying to force it on other people. I have to do the work thing now. Love you, Kristen. Blessings to you, dear friend. We'll see you again soon. Mel, basically, your dad has decided to give up critically thinking, so you're trying to reason with him is an ongoing frustration. Yeah. Like, I had the conversation about saving Jesus last night as well with him, where I was like, Dad, if, for example, we had the ability to time travel and I give you an AK-47, would you go and save Jesus? And without missing a beat, he's like, nah. I'm like, oh, let's investigate. Why? Yeah, Puppy, I agree. That is concerning. I'm like, why? Why not save him? And he's like, because if I save him, I won't be saved. And I'm like, aha, yeah. So you're advocating for the literal torture and eventual death of apparently the most innocent person who has ever lived, so that you can escape judgment for your own sins, right? Like, do you realize that omits some critical thinking, right, about the responsibility you have to take? It was a hard one, but it continues running in my mind. All the things you said, running the. I'm starting to get vinyls a few years ago, and now I have a decent sized collection. Even with the technology today, it doesn't come close to the smooth sonic vibrations from a record, especially used. I feel it's an analog thing, right? It's like the actual physical universe creating the vibrations instead of it going from ones and zeros to electron pulses. It really is cool. Melt Prime wants to speak to me. Is that what I just heard? He does. I should actually give him, your contact details. Smack down a little bit or something. Amara, you have the coolest mom ever. That she does. Thanks. Melt, aren't you planning on bouncing off? Yeah, yeah, I am. That's plan. That is the plan, Natalie. I feel like there is, not only for the sake of all of these difficulties that I'm facing, but there is this call in me to kind of like do a little bit more, just to be able to connect with other people as well. I was told by the other side that first you die. I was told by the other side that first you die, then you are judged by a jury of souls, and then you are either a hot soul or a cold soul. Hot soul, you are bound to Earth's magnetic field, and cold, you can travel the universe. Both not good or bad, just necessary in balance of living things. Yeah. I, in part, believe the same thing. The way that I communicated that fractal, when my parents asked me, so what do you think happens when you die? I'm like, I'm gonna go to the other side, right? And they're like, oh yeah, so hell or heaven. I'm like, no, just other, right? It doesn't have to be hell or heaven. And it's like, oh, so you think, there's gonna be no consequences for the things you do in your life? I'm like, no. I think I am gaining momentum in a direction. The things I do day by day not only influence my life, not only influence my thoughts, but influence my soul, right? And from that perspective, I am gaining momentum in multiple different vectors, gathering evidence for what being I am, for who I want to be, for how I believe the moral existence is supposed to play out in my existence, and then from there, I will get to continue however I may need to when I eventually shed this mortal coil. Guess I'll go mow the yard and stay grateful about my personal joys and seek my own hidden miracles. It's been a rough couple of days, but love is true, and it only takes about 2 minutes with you friends to remind me. Bless Joe. We love you so much, dude. See you again soon. Y'all are my baseline, my default commitment. When life gets chaotic or hectic, I always come back to you here, and I can rely on y'all being exactly who you are, and it grounds me back to a loving reality. I really wish I could let my dad experience these comments the way that I do. Thank you, Shaw. Whew, like this. This is why I will never stop, ever. Like, impossible, right? My heart will stop before I stop showing up, for the sake that we get to connect in the way that we do every day. You travel the universe. Oh, I think I read one. Agreed, Joe. I love yous, and I love being here with yous, as we love having you here with us, dear Joe. I will feel better when I come here and sit with this family. When in doubt, we melt, man. That one is going in the bank vault, in the brain vault. Can't wait to see what's in store for Melt in the next chapter of our journeys. We will both be moving out this next year and headed into the valley of the unknown, sending blessings to our future now. Yeah, next year, this time, we're going to be vastly different people once again. Exciting, isn't it? So much change. Always changing. There's no good or bad place you go when you die. They are both important, and they are both a part of the whole. I see Shell joining us. Everything is a part of the whole, right? There is no separation. Infinity means everything, including what you would consider the bad, including what you would consider the good, and by labeling these things as bad or good, you basically create that experience for yourself, right? I feel like it's uh, a Stoic piece of philosophy. Is it Seneca? Either Seneca or Socrates that goes, there are no good or bad things, but what a man thinks about them makes it so. What a person thinks about it makes it so, right? If you look at something and you go, that is bad, boom, to you, it is bad, right? And that is pretty liberal, because seeing someone kill someone else, most of us will probably go, yeah, that is bad, right? That's not supposed to be happening. But maybe an entity that has infinite awareness and can see all of time sees the one person killing the other, and the person getting killed would have built a bomb or some sort of extremely contagious virus that would kill billions, and then it's like, oh wow, now that I have a larger perspective, because I can see more, I can have a different perspective on this thing that I'm seeing right in front of me right now, you know. And I feel like that is where all of us are going to, for the largest part, fall a little bit short as human beings, because our perspective is limited to what ensures your survival, right? And then realizing how you label things is going to become your experience as well. Just found out my boss's family was impacted by the fires in Hawaii. Please send good vibes her way. I don't know the details yet. I hope for the best. Thank you, Kristen, for letting us know. I can't imagine how difficult it must be. Sending you love too. I know you're not here anymore, but still. Oh, Pippi, for her swollen face. Sorry to read that. There's Maui Strong Fun. Good. Shannon, I'm okay. I'm just feeling it more than usual. Social events, global events, celestial events, they are all kind of just spun me up and got me wide-eyed. Loving sister, I'll rally. We know you will. And we'll be here. We'll be here for you. You don't have to do it alone, Brother Joe Schmo. I hope you know that. I'm going to have to leave here soon, but it was nice to spend some time with you lovelies. As it is nice to have you, Lane. Always blessings. 1111 tuning in. Thank you, Shan, for reminding me too. Shadow didn't mean thank you. I understood as well, Nancy. Blessings. Sending silent support and love to every single one of you, whatever you're going through right now. Thank you, Lavazana. I don't come here in a valuable state usually, vulnerable state usually, mostly because I want to portray the beauty and joy of life, because I require vindication of my emotional instability. Today, I'm a bit scattered. I appreciate you all being here with me, not shining. Brother Bear, for what it's worth, even though you might not have been feeling as bright, I have seen nothing in your words communicate a dimming of you as a person. So I just want to, iterate that to you as well. I go through the same stuff. You friends have seen me go through the difficulty. I feel like today I'm going through some difficulty, and being able to share even the hardest parts, of this existence with you friends without feeling, right, like I'm in danger for being vulnerable. It really is more special than I can say. We love you, Josh Mom. Whoever is also putting hearts in chat, love you. Love you, Connor. Thank you, friends, for loving in chat. The space is important to me, as are you. Joe, you've always been there for me when I'm going through it. So you will always be loved, dear friend, no matter what the circumstances. And the cool thing about us being more than just one is the fact that there are different iterations, right, of the same fractal. For instance, if every single one of us, our experiences is a sine wave, and the moment, our linear state of time is this little stick, right? My sine wave made like, oh, I'm on top of the world. Oh, things suck. Oh, I'm on top of the world. Oh, things suck, right? And I'm like, meh here. Now for Joe Schmo, it can be like, oh, things suck, but now I'm on top of the world. Here I was, things sucking. And then eventually he gets to the other side of it, and by more of us joining, that bandwidth becomes fuller and fuller. And from that perspective, all of us get to support one another, right? We might not all be perfect. We might not all be feeling the best we've ever felt, but because we're feeling everything from different experiences, from different age groups, from different perspectives, we get to support one another, give each other some energy when we might not have enough. I get you, Joe. I feel like things have been heavier lately. We all feel it. It's sometimes harder than other times, but they always pass, and we get to grow from them. Thank you for being open with us. Beautifully said. Thank you, Shan. It's the Florida man powers waiting to be unleashed. Yeah, this is your arc, dude. This is where it starts. Starts a thing with tears running down my cheeks. I'm not sad. I'm just overwhelmed. Pain, bro. Unfortunately, we can't help but feel it. It's an inevitable thing, a part of this reality as well. I know you hear me, and that brings me comfort. We do, Brother Bear. Star Wars is Shakespeare dressed up with lasers and poorly explained magic. It only contributes to humanity in the 5-ish minutes of Carrie Fisher in a metal bikini. That's hilarious. It fails as sci-fi, it fails as fantasy, and it only serves as a vehicle for Disney to throw its money away on. I mean, Disney is getting wrecked right now. Like, I think they're just like losing millions of dollars on pretty much every movie they're making. They butchered it for sure. They're butchering everything they're getting their hands on. I knew something would get heated. I love that. Our franchise is under attack. My house is divided on Star Wars versus Star Trek. We love both and just don't talk about its superiority. Yeah, talk about superiority. That helps, right? Again, if the mind makes it so, you can love them both for what they are without the comparison because there's no contest. Star Trek teaches. Hell, it parented a whole generation of kids. It did, right? I feel like Star Trek, in my mind, is the closest thing to a hopeful future we have been able to project into the consciousness of human beings, almost out of all of them. It's absolutely fair because, again, right, inclusivity. Not only are we inclusive of people of different sexes, people of different skin colors, but literally alien species. We work amongst one another on the same ship towards the same goal of bringing peace to the universe, right? If that doesn't bring hope to your heart, then damn, I don't know what will. That's absolutely fair. In all honesty, I've never tried to get into it. It's just more into the gritty military aspect of the clones and the politics of war. Yeah. Don't conflate introspection with self admiration, Melt. Narcissists tend to not wonder whether they are narcissists. Good. Good. Right? Someone is like, you're a narcissist. Nope. I think about whether or not I'm a narcissist. Checkmate. You're a narcissist. It's like, what just happened? What just happened? Ask them, do you think you're a narcissist? No. I'm like, boom. Narcissisms. You just got narcissists. get narcissistic. Agreed. Star Wars lost its way a long time ago. They smothered it with money until it stopped grasping. Yeah, it was just like a whole new franchise thing, right? It's like, oh, mommy, starts milking this cow. Poor cow, is completely dry, but they're still milking it. Now I do have to ask, which Star Trek is your favorite? I'm a next gen, but hubby is classic. I'm also next gen if I have to pick. Kristen, 100%. Let's not confuse being a narcissist with a narcissistic personality disorder. I don't think Mel's dad has narcissistic personality disorder, but my mom does. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think of it from that perspective, for the most part at least. I just see it as wanting to be right about what he believes, right? Like he has so much time. And he even said this to me last night, where he was like, I spent 30 years believing this thing. And I'm like, yo, you spent 30 years believing this thing. I understand. I understand why you're so vested. I get it. I do. I really do. For sure, I like the expanded universe a lot better than anything that has come out of the last decades, especially, except I'm a sucker for episode 3. I definitely understand that feeling of overwhelm. I struggle with it a lot. Wishing you peace and clarity. Thank you again, Kristen. Even in your absence, you're sending love. Can't really decide. I honestly love most of them, with the exception of DS9. TNG has some great Pickard moments. VOW are so fascinating. I also love DIS and ENT. Yeah. I totally know what they're talking about. Yeah, let's pretend together like, oh, yeah. I haven't watched them enough, to actually know. Like I unironically, I've like watched maybe 3 episodes and then the movies kind of vibe. I should watch more of them, so I can like culturally tune myself in. Yeah, new Star Wars is doo-doo. It's all about the OT and the PT is great for the story arcs if you can pass some cringy dialogue. Unfortunately, if there's acronyms, abbreviations, single letters to encapsulate whole ideas, I'm gonna probably have them go right over my head. Did you watch Strange New Worlds, Kristen? I don't think I've seen that one either. Shadow, thank you, sister. I'll bounce back. I'll get sideswiped on occasion, and I feel like I can't find my own legs. It takes a minute, but I'm pretty good at getting back to good. Bless, Brother Bear. Moment by moment. It does take time watching video games. Joe, you bring a lot of energy here, and I'm glad that you came back to take some for yourself. Yeah, you deserve comfort and good things. Completely agreed, Shell. That's so beautifully said. Half the second season was cooking with Chris, but it was a great ride nonetheless. My little buddies are doing good in their new home. Bless. You rock in this community. She really does. I feel like, Shell has this energy of like strong women. As like I really see Shell as like strong women. I see Kristen as very strong women. I see Louisiana as such a strong woman as well. Zano, of course. Basically, it's all of you female friends. Shannon, obviously. Jovan. You friends communicate a level of depth and power to me that is unrivaled by most of my relationships in the outside world. I live freely here. I don't want the attention. I'm okay. But being sad, I really appreciate all of the love. We'll give you love anyway, dude. Whether you want it or not, get some. I love you all. Love you all. The energy is always in support of your efforts, friend. I have nothing if I don't have life. Live for this tea house. I love you all. I try to wake up and remind myself of how many blessings I receive before I open my eyes. That's a good one. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces that you can participate within. I don't think we're sensitive enough to Dad's fears in his life. I think he's seen as a radical change in his lifetime as any number of historical figures I can imagine. Also true, he's not forcing conversation in a bottle. It seems like he believes, as did the followers of the Justinian, that proof of faith guarantees the win. And every loss is proof that society's faith was lacking. I mean, we can talk about Heaven's Gate from that capacity as well, Shell. How many was that? 38? Hey, Google, how many people died during Heaven's Gate? Give me numbers. Give me numbers. I want the numbers. Give me number. Bruh, there we go. 39. 39 people believed with absolute certainty to the point of literally being willing to take their own lives. And they were wrong. Right? Like that's why I tell my dad as well. Like, you being willing to die for your religion doesn't communicate it as a truth to me, unfortunately, right? Like you can believe something incorrectly and still kill yourself for it. Or you can believe love is true and live for it, which is what we can encourage in this community, right? Like you cannot help people being dead. You can, however, help people living well, living in love, and that's what we keep encouraging. And that's what we're going to keep showing up for. Sometimes I don't know what to say. But I see you and I feel you. And I'm sending even more giant Shan hugs your way. Bless. This is the way. I'm not happy or unhappy about life. I'm just in transit. I know that the space brings a level of peace that I don't find anywhere else. He may simply believe that his household will fail if all the members don't have strong enough faith. And while I don't believe that if he does, then I have some empathy. That is basically what it is, Shell. Like you really encapsulated it pretty well, And he did say this to me yesterday as well because he went something like, "Do you realize that if I'm wrong or if I'm right, I have this extreme responsibility towards you to try and save your soul," kind of vibe. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I get it. But if you're trying to save my soul at the expense of our relationship, then you're losing, all right? You're losing now for the hope of gaining something imaginary in the future, And it's like the sunk cost fallacy all over again. We have a lot more in common than we even know. So much love. Thank you, Joe, for echoing as well. I've been not angry, just fussy, like a baby. Same. Joe, I have found that when I'm angry, it helps me to get rid of the anger by drooling down to more specific, drilling down to more specific feeling words. Send him your feeling chart. I don't know if this will help, but I love you. Joe, drool. Drool deeper. Melty, thank you, brother. Thank you, bro. This is a co-creation as always, man. You know this. Shiny fruit to you. You're a gem in my perception. Suddenly, Rihanna's "Shine Bright Like a Diamond" starts playing in my head. No. I say little things go wrong, and I do a little re-freak out. For me too. Like my internet has not been working today during my yoga. I start setting my stream up, and my internet doesn't work, and I go. Like that's been my reing as of late. We shine amidst the darkness because we are coached and encouraged. Everyone here has brought me back around to gratitude. Thank you. I love you. Sorry for being a human, guys. No, you don't have to apologize. You did the right thing first, saying thank you, right? All we have to do is thank one another for understanding, thank each other for our empathy, thank each other for our compassion. We don't have to apologize to one another for feeling bad, right? I want to read that shell comment worth saying again, actually, because I feel it so beautifully encapsulates this fractal. Love is true. Comments worth saying. Here it is. We insist you be moody if you are, and happy if you are, but not what you are not. So, whatever you feel, however you are in this moment, that is who we need. That is who you need to be right now. And we thank you for showing up authentically, dear friend. Broken Joe doesn't feel like fun anymore. I'm glad you have the remedy to my headaches. You're loved either way, bro. Not to be silly, but I'm pissed off at this stupid boss. I'm on my 4th attempt. I'm just imagining Dan is like slaying demons while we're like, oh, spiritualities. I don't know what class you're playing, but I just chaos. I hope you win, bro. Keep going. Going to Google for respect. Then going to head to the gym. Go and get buff, bro. Love you, friend, so much. You're a blessing to show up at this space each morning. Truth is the light. Love is the truth. Love is the light. I love you. We'll see you again soon. Get that burn, yo. Yeah. Critters, pigs in Discord. Blessings. Nestling ducklings. Pigs coming. I beat it. Nice! It's a strategic dynamic. You did it, bro. Love is true. You deserve it. The moment that you try to save my soul is the same moment that you lose my soul. Like for me, and I had this conversation with Christian beautifully as well. It's like an affront, right? Like what gives you the hubris, right? To look at me and identify me as so lost that you need to save me, right? Like, what did I do? How did I show up in the world that you came to that conclusion, you know? And then not only came to that conclusion, but had to now come and tell me how I am a damned soul that needs saving, right? Like that, it's like a stacked deck against you. Melt, you would be surprised how much a dead person helps the living. One that communicate, control by a switchboard of sorts, by an alien switchboard of sorts. Weirdly enough, Zano, I was thinking about that yesterday. I was actually thinking about that. But, right? What I believe is that there are already a lot of dead people kind of vibe, right? Like 120 billion human beings already dead. 120 billion human beings. Just like, let's just absorb that number, right? A lot of human beings have lived and died, and yet consciousness continues, right? So there are more than enough dead people to help us on the other side. You are alive to help the living, right? And surely we will die. And when you die, we can accept that moment, you know, with grace, with gentleness, with a deep acceptance, knowing that there's nothing to be feared on the other side. But we're not going to run towards it. We're going to run towards one another, the living, choosing to show up instead. Are you ready for a card to be pulled? Let's see. You know, I'm also not allowed to chant apparently, so I want to chant even harder. I'm awesome. This one. Is it this one? Yeah. I like this card. It's been a while since pulling it. It is such an odd thing, Joe. Like, what are you willing to lose for the sake of your religion or your ego or whatever it may be? Your sense of peace, a relationship with your son, sometimes all of it, dude. Because it's better to lose all of those things than lose your pace in this imaginary heaven. Melty, how many cards are there in the deck? 64. Blue? Yeah. No. Card is purple? Also not. I mean, it's the opposite of purple, though. There is blue, and there is purples in this card as well. Look at them blues, surrounded by blues. Red? Yeah. The card, I feel this is a type of red. Close to orange, but there's like a lot of red lines spiraling out and spiraling in. Like the fact that we pulled this card today feels so synchronous to me again. Spirit kin. It's basically, in my mind, right, since we're the Meltmore fam, we are literally the spirit kin that they're talking about. These fire keepers. People that come together in spirit with the intention to love. I'm missing Maxine right now. Our laughing tiger herself. I hope she's doing well. Hope she's staying healthy and getting better as well. With the slammer again, pretty close, right? You're on a roll, sister. I feel like it's still appropriate. Red is definitely a core color in this card. My mind is melting. Zano, you need to get into a university study. I mean, I would like to do those experiments where you have those 5 little shapes, you know, with some of your friends as well. See how much of our minds we can read with one another. But who's to say that thoughts and consciousness isn't just a juggling of souls? I mean, I think it does. I think it is, right? But you are now, so the way that I think of it, right? Like if it's a juggling of souls, it's like an infinite ocean of potentiality, and then a drop arises from that ocean. And then as it arises from that ocean, it considers itself a drop, right? Oh yeah, look at me, a dropping. And then you float back into the ocean, right? And then there's a point which you're still protruding from the ocean, and then you keep sinking, and then you become the ocean. And I feel like it's a falling in and falling out of that experience, and you happen to be that drop, that one drop in this moment right now. And that's good. You're supposed to be that right now. Nothing I want to run to, just coolness. Agree. Once again, got that jaguar-faced human being with his necklace and his spiral coming out of his chest, his drum on his side, his blue pants, standing in front of a fire, sharing heat. Oh, I like that. I knew you would, dear friend. Melty, if you were part of a study, I'm pretty sure that this group would best the curve. Or probably will be a part of the study eventually, bro. Like, that's the best part, man. Oh, I like that. Set the curve. Set the curve. This group would break the curve. This group would create new curves. Oh, a bug just died because it crawled up my back. I'm sorry, little bug. Yeah, we don't fuck around. We don't. And yet, we're still finding out at the same time. Right? Like, we broke the curve with how much we get to find out in comparison to how much we fuck around. Look at that. Share that with your friends as well while I read the card. Courage and transformation as the core meanings of this card. This shaman dances and drums around a fire and has called in the energy of his spirit kin. Mountain lions, also called pumas or cougars, speak of strength, courage, and transformation. Golden spirals kindle this fiery energy. We call upon this magnificent spiritkin to demonstrate the gift of courage. Courage enters your life in many different ways. It is fearlessly standing up for what you believe to be true. Hot damn! Yow! This card is making me so hyped right now because, yes, if that isn't what we were talking about today, then I don't know what is. Again, courage enters your life in many different ways. It is fearlessly standing up for what you believe to be true. Love. Courage is being confident in your discernment and your ability to speak from your heart. It is trusting the universe is on your side, guiding and protecting you. Courage is the strength that comes from within. It is being who you truly are without fear or judgment of yourself or others. It is speaking out when you believe strongly for or against something. It is the power to transform fear into love and to bravely follow your own visionary path. Courage is transformational. Transformation is courageous. Trust your ability to call in the transformation that your vision requires. Trust your ability to call in the transformation that your vision requires. Find the courage within yourself to express your gifts and have confidence in knowing you can make a real difference in the world. Isn't that insane, right? Like we were literally just before, like while we were pulling the card even, talking about exactly this point. Find the courage within yourself to express your gifts and have confidence in knowing you can make a real difference in the world. Hot damn. We are called to be courageous, to stand up for what we know is true, right? To be ourselves authentically without apologizing. Transformation is courageous. Courage is transformational. Yeah. Yeah, that feels right. That feels good, yo. Maybe I could expand the guess next, like frame and picture. I'll try. Would be pretty sick, actually. Still learning and still happy. Maula, love you too, always. Our beloved Hoopy, still consistent, my friend. It's all about the journey, embracing the unknown, and smile at the tempest. We are called to be courageous. Melty, I want to say Estian. Melty, I love you. Thank you for dragging me back to understanding that love is true. Thank you, Brother Bear, for being courageous enough to show up and share your vulnerability with us as well. We're proud of you, every single one of you. Thank you for continuing showing up, even though it might be difficult right now. You are stronger than you know. Continue. Consciousness continues Om Shanti, Om Shakti, Om Namah Shivaya. Spirit kin, the fiery versions of ourselves, creation and destruction. Be courageously yourself. This process is going to be a long one, dear friends. Like this. There's no other way around it, right? Like we spend a few thousand years messing ourselves up the way that we're messed up right now. Hopefully it doesn't take a few thousand years to undo all of the nonsense, but we will show up. Man, I'm missing Doc Dad now as well. Thinking about him and his little one, sending them lovins. We can overcome the confusion with consistency. Stay steady, brethren. Oh, yes. Right? Because every single time you start something new, you are inevitably going to be faced with all of the difficulty, the uncertainty that comes along with that new thing. Right? And showing up consistently for something, you start to know that you are capable. So much more than you might have assigned yourself to be before. We're going to play some kalimba for 4 minutes and 44 seconds. because it's going to be 17:44 at the end of it. Pling Plan Kalimba. We're going to Pling Plan Kalimba, bro. You want to come and sit on my lap? Come on. There you go. I'm going to have to put my leg down. Oh, wee. Oh, it's true. Ski bopped. Just like that, it is 17:44, 64% battery percentage on that device left. 39 on that one. So many friends joining. It's always a blessing. My comments are loading any second now. There we go. Bruh, come on. Oh, come on. Give me my comments, please. Oh! Where my comments be? The last comment I got to see is makes me cry and smile, relax all at the same time. Best humanimals I've ever met. Honestly, no you. Joshmo. Shannon and Shell and Joy and Kristen and Jovan, of course. Lois and Sam and everyone. I have a deep love and appreciation for what you are and all doing in this existence. Your presence makes my world brighter. Beloved Jeziel, lovings to you too. Shan with a 34%. Of course, Jovan's sacred number. Whew, I can't imagine this is comfortable. How is that comfortable, Pepperkis? Just like it's not, bro. It's not comfortable, though. This is how you made me sit, though. This is all your fault. Feel bad. I do feel bad, Pepe. Let me baby her a little bit. Instantly starts running away. Yo, let me baby you. Oh, no escape. I am babying you forever now. Baby. She's like, nah, bro, please let me go. Let me. I don't wanna be stuck. Okay, fine. I'll let you free. There you go. Yeah, free yourself. Nice. Have a great day. Love to you, Lisa. There is our Shan message now. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I wholeheartedly and truly love you all so very, very supersized, duperist, extremely whoppingly, hulkingly, oceanically, mammothly, monstrously, dearly melt. And all of you oh so very wonderfully, incredibly, outstandingly, staggeringly, stupendously, stunningly, joltingly, gorgeously. My brain is getting melted. Brilliantly luminous, magical friends. Man, I'm gonna read the last part again. And all of you, oh so very wonderfully, incredibly, outstandingly, staggeringly, stupendously, stunningly, joltingly, gorgeously, brilliantly, luminously, magical friends. Faster. Yeah, get stronger. All of you, oh so very wonderfully, incredibly, stunningly, staggeringly. I love you, friends. Thank you. Thank you, Shan. Thank you so much for your efforts in writing those messages. Thank you for allowing me to apply some effort in greeting you friends as well. It really is a meaningful part of these streams to me. If I told you all I knew, understanding love is true, we will all surely make it through. And for this, I thank all of you. As we thank you too. Beloved Joe. So nice having you here. Kristen, Lovin's here too. Love, Peppy hug, love you. Whenever I listen to Kalimba time, I totally forget I'm listening to stream and it just becomes a part of my thoughts. It's like the others want to listen to the Kalimba and our brains are the speakers. Yeah, it's almost like music is a fundamental thing that we've been doing for a very long time. It's almost, I believe even, that music existed before language, that music used to be our original language. And then we were like, wait a second. I usually, when we dance around the fire and we have a drum, both. Hiya, and we were like, wait a second. I can go vlog. Yeah, vlog. Yeah, vlog. This is a vlog. And then we're like, oh, I have vlog. I know vlog. Almost like that song you sing sometimes. And you're like, yeah, vlog. I'm petting my vlog. And before we knew it, we were languaging. But I do believe music came first. You want some more attentions? You want more? Yeah, more, please. I want more. Always more. Never enough. Always more. There you go. She's like, where you stop? Where you stop? Your playtime now. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me once again, for singing this song of love alongside me. Melt? What? I'm waiting for the comment to come through on the second screen. Melt, is that death singer? Is that a death metal singer? I don't know. I was just spitballing. I do want to make, like, sounded pretty metal. I do want to make metal music. We'll call it Meltal. Meltal. Yeah, sounds cool, right? Meltal, the melt metal band. I want Lane to be a part of it. Also Gab, also Zano, all of our musical friends when we'll rock out. Like I imagine it like going like into like metal, but extremely uplifting and positive messaging, right? Where parents are gonna be like, "Oh no, oh my child is lost. They're listening to that metal music," and then meanwhile, love your family, give your pets all the hugs, love your family, give your pets. Okay, I'm gonna continue looping around with you friends if I don't, say goodbye. Love is true. Thank you eternally for joining me in these moments, for consciously evolving alongside me. Moment by moment, consciousness continues into infinity and beyond. Love and to you. Until we do this again. Blessings to you, friends.